Hello, welcome back.
Fifth function, test.
Okay. What am I doing? I think I'm gonna do that simpler thing. Uh-huh. So, build a test for that. Uh-huh. So that's gonna be a completely different way to all of this. Uh, that's... That be the old way. Oh, that's also the old way. Um, that should just be the rendering, yeah. And then just minimize that whole chunk. Okay. So, what do I want to do? With this method, the first thing I would want to do is sort. I had a few other ideas about other stuff earlier. Do I care about them? Not really. Um, okay, let's try without the sorting first, which could be bad. Hmm. I probably won't have that many textures. I could sort every time. Sure, let's just try the sorting every time. So for I in what's the loops? Grab all of that. So we need to know the areas. Just bump that down. Whatever. Areas, margin, A for the cycling through the thing, depending on what that is. Textures. Doop, doop, doop. So we've got textures, and then we've got areas. Area equals areas area. Okay, so I'd want to sort this by the size. Does that work? I feel like it does for some reason, but I don't think it does. I mean, I remember doing that with a whole heap of stuff. I don't know what it was though, because I remember looking for it before and I couldn't figure out which one it was. There is one that will let me allow me to go deeper into arrays and stuff like that. Oh wait, no, this is just maybe? We're missing the thing. It would be by size, but I wouldn't be able to get an axis. Whatever. So the first thing I want to do is get a sorted array. Sort as array. We loop through the areas. Sort dot push this, which will contain area and area dot size 0. Okay. and then sort array, and we want to sort that array by index 0, which will be the size. And then we need to, I guess, loop through and re-separate these things out into the now sorted thing. Wait, what are we sorting? We're not sorting area, we're sorting textures. Grab all of that. So this will be doing that, which that's going to be used for a different thing. Let's just dump that down there. So we need to loop through the textures. And then we need to...
Vampire frog, morning.
Hello.
There's a coding category by the way on DLive.
Am I not in the coding category? I should be in the coding category, right? Oh wait, no, I changed to science and technology because nobody ever used the coding category. Unless things have changed now after PewDiePie came in and just sort of wrecked the place.
You're in science and technology.
Yeah. How do I change things again? That one? 11. Okay. Wait, what's this?
Vampire frog, click on the second icon. Yeah?
Activity feed. Okay. No E. Coding. That was the other thing. How in the world do you find the categories? Like, say I want to watch coding things, could I just type in coding? Oh, we got a search thingy now, which doesn't come up as coding. Oh, no, that's a person. How would I find the coding category? You can't even do anything with that.
Vampire frog, yeah, the autocomplete is crap.
Yeah, well, how are people gonna find? Because you can't find anything in this
You have to
junk.
type the whole thing.
There we go. Oh, yeah, so I'm literally the only person here. Do you often look at the coding category? Is that a thing that people do? The science and technology actually has people in here. It'd be great if I could have it in multiple categories.
Vampire frog, now I find streamers by word of mouth more or less.
Well, how'd you find me? I mean, I don't. I mean, has people been talking about me? More or less. Whatever. Uh-oh.
I think I found you by scrolling on the front page.
Wow. I was on the front page? I mean, you must have scrolled down pretty far.
I scroll down to people with 0 to 2 viewers.
Okay. Well, that would have made it a little easier.
No, I had to scroll down a lot.
Yeah. Okay, it's gone up a bit.
Vampire Frog, that Lino stuff is TLDR.
Yeah, just sort of skimming through it. But it seems like it's at least the same worth. I was just wondering if I should pull out anything I have before the change happens. I wonder if they'll still have the whole. Um, oh, so it's only for D Live. So it's okay. As far as I understand, this Lino thing works with other things as well. Like other people use Linos, Lino, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, now they're just doing their own one that only works with things on this site. Sort of a bit lame, but okay.
Vampire Frog, gonna go begin my own stream. Good luck.
Alright, let's drop by. Well, it doesn't seem like anything's going to be really any different. I mean, I don't have enough for anything anyway. I could buy a sandwich, that's about it. Okay, so what am I doing? Doopy doopy doop. We sort by the things, and we grab the things, put them into an array. We sort by the things. Textures, texture. Sort the array. Then we want to loop through the textures and dump them in the areas. So we need to do the whole area thing. Okay, so how am I going to do this? This one's going to be a whole heck of a lot more simpler, so it shouldn't be too complicated. And I won't be able to do the dragon thing, it's not going to work with the no manual stuff on the automatic things, but whatever. I don't need to do that, I don't think. So this should be sorted biggest first, I believe. So that should be fine. So we'd want to be going through here. And this is going to be this thing, that one, to be the actual texture thing. We don't really care about the new area things, I suppose. Whatever, so we'll have an area that is this. How am I going to do areas now? So technically we have no area to start with. Well, the whole place is an area, but that's not how I'm going to be doing areas anymore. So, yeah, with this method, we're putting this one down, and we'd have an area to the side, an area down, and I guess we could have an area here? Or we could just have an area to the side and the area down. No, we would have to know where this location is. Alright, so the whole thing would be a location as an empty area, then we put a block here. A tile here or whatever. So then we create a new area off to the side, a new area down here, and a new area off the side as an unclaimed area, or whatever. No, actually, I think it would. I mean, I guess it could. I could also. So then when I put one down, it'll be in this area. I could create a new area off to the side and a new area at this piece down here. But there won't be that one. So I need to be able to tell the difference between them. Is there any way I could just have all areas act exactly the same? Well. Just add some more properties into this information. So this is unclaimed. Why not? Do an object, may as well use words. So we want the texture, and then we want to loop through the areas. C should not be required. I feel like I should group them in different categories then, but whatever new stuff will just be plonked on the end. Yeah, because I need to go left, then I need to go down, and then if I can't do either of those, I need to do the other one. Okay. So we could just forget about the whole visualization. We just need to know about location and size. And then we could just group them together as required, which means we won't be doing this. Why did that happen? Don't know. Boop. Boop. um. So I guess this is gonna now be an array of arrays. So areas will be equal to an array, and then areas dot. Let's just say area 0 equals to this. Why did you just unminimize everything? Okay, not quite everything. So, yeah, area 0 will be at location and size, so it just takes up the whole thing, and this would be unclaimed. How do I want to do that? Okay, I mean, I could group this up again in another object, and then this is unclaimed. So it's location and size. And then if I have it claimed, there's going to be a left and a right. So it's going to go to the area, just incrementing the number. So we start at 0, and it's going to say, does it have a left? Does it have a down? Or does it have a right? Does it have a down? Why do I keep mixing up left and right? Does it have a right? Does it have a down? A left it can fit into, a down it can fit into. Otherwise, is it an unclaimed? I guess I could check unclaimed first. Is it an unclaimed? Then does it have a right? Does it have a down that it fits into? So if it's not unclaimed, it will check those. If it is unclaimed, then it places it down, changes the size, and it's now got a left and a right rather than an unclaimed. And yeah. Okay. And then when this is claimed, we would create a new index with a new unclaimed area, which would be the remaining size after this one's size minus from location size, whatever. The change in that. Why not? Okay, so for area and areas, is that if area dot unclaimed, then well, technically we'd want to put this texture down there. We could just say location equals area dot area unclaimed dot loc. Okay. Wait, more of that. So we want to do that. We actually want to plus the thingies, I guess. Just shove it through the thing. Whatever, let's just do the 0, 1 thing. Keep instancing. That 0 plus margin 1, but we are missing a lot of things. Where's my music at? That's what's missing. Okay. So area is area unclaimed. We would also want to check to see if this thing fits within the unclaimed area. So if unclaimed dot size plus margin times 2
B3NF1_re. Hi.
hello. So if that wait, hang on, that's not where I would do that. This is just this. If that is less than the texture size plus that. So if the unclaimed area is smaller, yeah, sure, let's... Now I want to check equal to as well. Okay, not greater. So if it's not greater than the size of the texture plus the margin, because that's actually entirely possible that it might want to do the same things, but whatever. And we want to do that for the X and the Y. Why do brackets look confusing? Whatever. And the Y. So if the texture fits within the area, then I'd want to do this. Else, break. God damn, it's decided double loops. So I want to just break or just return? Because it hasn't rendered the objects yet. I was just saying break before, and that seemed to work, I guess. Sure, I guess it'll just drop out. Log. Error. Okay. I just know that it doesn't fit. Okay, so if it does fit, we are claiming an unclaimed area. So the texture location is equal to the unclaimed area location plus the margin, because margining. And we want to then say, this has now got a left and a right, so area dot right. Area right is equal to that. And it's gonna contain basically this information. So we want to know its location, and its location would be the texture location. This is just to the right, so the that's going to be the same as the unclaimed location 1. And this would be the texture location plus the texture size plus the margin times 2. I really don't think I did that times 2 but last time. Whatever. 0, 0. So location plus size plus margin on both sides is where the X location of this right side area is. And the Y is what it was. The size is now whatever the size of the unclaimed one was in that axis. The other one's just going to be the same thing. So that minus the texture size plus margin times 2. Okay. And then we do the same thing for the down. Alright. So just flip the X and Y's. Zeros to ones. One. I think that should be good. Okay, I do really want to log what these things look like. Which I guess I can do just the same way I was doing before. We just don't have the whole overload. I guess I just tack it on the end. It's just annoying having it there now. Because it is completely irrelevant to this style. Oh no. Okay, so what are we doing? We're sorting the textures by their X, and then we are looping through the textures, looping through the areas for as many as this variable is a thing. We don't care about new areas. Also at the end of this, we want to say area unclaimed is equal to undefined, so that would now be false. So we loop through the areas is the area. The area is now an object with the information that it's the object with the information we used before, so this is going to be different. Okay, well if that's going to be different, then I'm just going to recode that again with this method. And I don't have to worry about that. I feel like I removed one too many. Yeah, I think it all looks good. Okay. So, yeah, doop. So if the area is unclaimed, there's no other option at the moment for the first one, and it fits within the X, it fits within the Y, the texture fits within the area's X and Y. Then the texture location is wherever the area location is, plus the margin. We have a right side and a downside area now, and the area unclaimed is now claimed, so unclaimed is undefined. Else we got an error because it doesn't fit within the unclaimed area because we don't have enough space. In which case we need to do a whole recalculation thing. Okay. Well, let's just sort of copy that and not care about that one. Wait, what? Okay. What you meowing about, kitty cat? What's going on? Yeah, also one's where? True. We don't care about that. This is now different, so for that, we don't care at all about an overload. We just want location, which would be area. I guess we don't care about any of this stuff either. We just want to fill rec. I don't know. Do we want to do the line way or the fill? We want to do the rec way, wouldn't we? Yeah. We keep all that there, whatever. So because we need to do whatever. Let's just get rid of it all. Boop. We only care about this way right now. So this would be area. This would be if area dot unclaimed, then they just switch all of this with that. It's all gonna be the same color, but whatever, I'll do. So is that it? So we look through the areas. If the area has an unclaimed, we get its location, we get its size, line width, be whatever, we have a color, we have a location, and job done. Okay, why not? And then we do the same thing with the right. That's simple. And then again with the left. Down. Left, down, that's all we're doing. Yakey, where's the server? Where's the files? Where's literally anything? Okay, well. Drag it, drop it, away we go, Eddie. Refresh. I'd say 120? Whatever. Boop. Error. Okay, yeah, and I'm also not seeing the areas being defined. This is turned on. So at the very least, we should have this area here existing. So area whatever is got an unclaimed. So area whatever has an unclaimed. Why do we not see that? Does seem to exist. Why are you not pausing?
Colonel Crumpet, if claimed CLAMD equals hooray.
No, it should just exist. It should just exist. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Have I been using things wrong the whole time?
Colonel Crumpet, false.
False? Did you just say false, or was that a bug with the chat thing? Okay. This is JavaScript. To follow our rules here. No?
Colonel Crumpet, woot, how did I say false?
Because you put the image in the chat and didn't understand it. Okay.
Fort 1, woot. Okay.
Yeah. So that is not equal to false. But it's not true. It's just not equal to false. Whatever. If this, then true? Why does that say it's a function? True. Okay, yeah, there you go. So that should be true. Just an object with contents.
Colonel Crumpet, FAAALSE.
That's also true. I thought an empty one was false. Yeah.
Colonel Crumpet, exit.
Yep, so that should be true. This thing, that thing. So what have I messed up here? We should have a size, we should have a location. Just to make absolutely sure this is running right. Now you got me thinking maybe something weird's going on.
Colonel Crumpet, IDK, it might be. False.
So that's not saying anything. Oh, it's an object, not a this anymore. Although I am storing it as that, so whatever. I in areas. That'll probably do it. Which would be interesting. Does that mean it knows the difference between a string and a number as an ID? There you go. Saying the things now. But now everything's disappearing, so that's something. Where's my box at? Have I missed something with that? No? Wait. Did I... What? Was this doing something else? No. Where's my original rendering of the box?
Colonel Crumpet, OKCYA.
Alright, thanks for dropping by. So that should be rendering the box. We've got a begin path, we've got a stroke, we've got a color, that should be all good. We don't see the box now. And if I set that to pulse, then we see the box again. So why does this make the box disappear? We have begin paths. We're doing a stroke, we're doing a rec. It should be the same size as a black, the color? No. So all I can think is it's just overriding the color. Whatever. Let's assume that that's probably what's going on. So when I do the next one, it should work. So when I insert something into here to give it a left and right, but it's coming out as an error. Is it still doing that? Yep. I'm so used to escape being the pause button now. So apparently it's not fitting within the thing. Have I done that wrong? So the area is area and areas, that one should be fine. Area is unclaimed, it knows that, so the area size is greater than the texture size plus the margin, and then not, and size plus the margin and not, so if it is within the area, or equal to or less than the area size, then this should go. Okay, so what exactly are these numbers? It's probably breaking because it's got a loop. Okay, so maybe it is actually working. But then when it goes to the next texture, it doesn't work. Let's see if the box appears. Nope. Okay. Okay, why is this disappearing? This should be running. Yes. We have a location, we have a size. These should exist. Even if they were undefined, nothing would be breaking. What is that? What is this? It's not like we have else's, there's no returns, breaking, anything here that would stop what has already been rendered from being rendered. Okay, that seems to be fine. What is the color, I suppose? Let's just set the color to be something we know. Because it shouldn't ever do a black color with the color hue. Red is the first color. Huh. I have an error with this. I is not a thing anymore. That'll do. Well, if I'm doing it that way, that means I can make each one be its own color. So I sort of need to do that anyway. There you go. Although these indenting thingies don't. Well, I don't care. Replace. And I can just copy all of that everywhere else. Could just put the whole thing within a loopy thing. I have to deal with 3 separate things, but whatever. Nope. I wonder how the times C part was working before then. This was times I. So apparently I was working? Area's length. Should be fine. No, that would be wrong, but not in a way that I care about. Okay, let's do it the loopy way. M equals unclaimed right down for ma in M ma. Yeah, he. And then I could do that. And then these ones could be the CA ones. And that could be that. So they'll have the same distance rather than getting. It'll just make it look a bit better. Whatever. Okay. I don't see any problems here. That's an object. That doesn't have a length. There we go. Rocket. Oh yes. There we are. And that just immediately comes out with an error. Okay. So what is this? Well, obviously it's going to be a whatever, because that's still there. Refresh. Pause. So, 210 is less than that, and 310 is less than that. Okay, so if that number... Oh. Yeah, I do have those, just flip backwards. I had them the right way around, or the wrong way around first, and then I flipped it to be the right way around, which was the wrong way around because they inverted. There we are. We're not applying locations. Again with that thing, I always forget, but I remembered immediately this time. I knew exactly what that arrow... Well, actually, that's only because I scrolled down. If I didn't scroll out just then, it might have taken me a while. You have your location changed, so you need to be updated. So we're only looking at the middle squares at the moment, so it should just plonk the next one down into the undefined. Nope, didn't do anything with it. Just plonks that one down in the undefined. Okay. Why? So why did it not put down the next one? We should have done the first texture. We did the area thing. Because it just removed the unclaimed. Okay, we haven't I haven't started the next unclaimed. So let's do the left rights first, I guess. Else, wait. No. Wait, what are we doing? Okay. Boop. Else. Well, technically it would just exist, whatever. Right. And it fits within the right. Okay. I guess if it has a right, then it has a left. I mean, it has a down. Else, if down. Random flashback memory with spells this time. Area down, area down. Yep, so that should be that. We sort of got to do this. So if we're putting it to the right one, then we want to put it in the right location, which that should just be pretty much the same. And then we need to update it, and then we're just doing the right one. So the right area now gets altered. It now has... all I have to do is change the location and size, so let's just not worry about doing that whole thing. Size... size 0 is equal to, or plus equals even. Just what that was saying before. Texture location plus texture size plus margin times 2. Okay. And then... wait, that would be minus this. Okay, so location is plus that, and size is minus this. Okay. I believe that should work. Uh-huh. What did I mess up this time? Same thing as last time. Okay. That's not right, and the size isn't right. Okay, so again, area right location in the X plus equals the... oh, it's not texture, it's just the size times 2. Boop. Is that one correct? Because that was the signing, not plus equally. Okay. Crazy the amount of basic mistakes I seem to be making. There we go. That seems better. Yeah, I don't think I did do the times 2 margin thing with the other one. And, oh. whole heap didn't fit, but then that one did fit. Okay. And this is sorted by width? Wow. Surprising that none seem to be wider than that, but they all go a lot deeper. Whatever. Okay, so now I do the same thing again, but this time for the down. Wait. We want this sorted by a different dimension. Before I do that. This is sorted by the 1, not by the 0. We don't want width, we want height. So this should be a nice gradient-y thingy going down. That's a lot of seemingly exact same heights. Weird. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, I am creating like 50 of these things or something, 100 of these things, so I guess that will be a whole lot more common. Let's say I'm not going to be using any more than like 30 textures for now. But yeah, then you're going to worry about the size. Okay. Really? That didn't fit. Okay, sure. Well, I feel like I want to sort by width and height then. Would that be more optimal? So that one does the height one, and then this one does the width one. I mean, the whole idea is to be able to put them in regardless of sorting. Unless I run out of space, then you want to sort and do it. Why is this box going under? Are my sizes incorrect? Probably. Oh, it went negative? No. I mean, that one I can imagine, yeah, but this one? The child songs. Yeah, they get nudged off to the side. I got something wrong with placing the location. I've got the feeling that the location is not +2. Does it get worse? No, it's just the initial one. Oh, because this is already accounted for it. That's why I didn't have to do that. Okay. That one I do. And those ones I do, so just not the locations because they're coming from this location. Oh, getting hungry. Go out and get some food later, but I should be able to get at least this working before then. It's a much more simplified version. There we go. Okay. Let's just continue with this, I suppose. So the only difference is I'd want to do the left one by one loop and the right one by another loop. So... if one's full, then we switch to the other one. So we do them all by height, and then we do them all by width. And then when they don't fit anymore, we do it again. Removing them from the index every time. Okay. What's that saying? Okay. Is that it? Where is that log coming from? That one. Go away. So, yep. Just do it like this now. For now. So that just flips to this. And down instead of right. Is that simple? Come on. Nope. Oh yeah. 1-1. Okay. So at this point, I want to create a new area. So if that and that fail, else oh, actually, why hasn't this been happening all along? So this is looping through all of the areas and trying to do this with all of the areas, because we're not creating a new area yet. Okay. We're supposed to be creating a new area in here. But that new area is only going to run if these ones didn't run, so we want to do a... if this one happens, break. And if that one or that one happens, break and break. But if it didn't find any of those or this one, then we want to go to the next area. So now we've got to create a brand new area. And... why do I have this as that? Why is this not an array? I feel like there was a reason for this. Array would work perfectly fine, wouldn't it? Okay. In which case, you can just go back to being a leg. And I believe everything should just work perfectly fine. Nothing should broke. What did I do? Probably still uploading? Nope. 350. Yeah. 350. 350. Ah, yeah. You gotta be an array. So I gotta be an array to treat it like an array. What? Okay. There we go. Now I can just push. So we just want to do that. And its location will be... texture location plus texture size plus marge. One there and one here. Let's do that before making that one's unclaimed go away. And that way I could just grab this, put that in there. We don't need the location part. And then we say this thing dot size 0 minus that. Okay. Wait. Times 2. Gotta do times 2 when size, but not Luke. Why is whatever? I put that there. Oh, that's all of them. Okay, seems reasonable. I feel like there was still something or other else I needed to add, but that seemed to be going. Alright, post a join for ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So let's create a bajillion of these things and see what happens. It's definitely a heck of a lot faster than the other way. Doop. Nope, that was wrong. You lied. I mean, I suppose... Wait, what's going on here? Go again. Okay. I only want this area. I don't want this whole area. I just want this area. Okay. So, when creating the write down areas, your sizes are not this. So this is, so that would be the down. That would be, well, this, I guess. And that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's working pretty well. Oh, that's 100 things. Okay, so I could optimize that further by sorting in both the X and the Y axis, and then switching between them depending on if it's doing a left one or a down one. A right one or a down one. So if it's doing a right one, then yeah, we just use one list, and we just go through all of the rights, I guess. That's a little bit more complicated. I feel like I should do that now. So, how would that be done? So we want it sorted by heights when we're doing the right, and we want it sorted by width if we're doing the left. Okay. Also, what's going on down here? Oh, it's because of the, yeah, margin thing. It's all good. The offsets. Okay. So in that case, we want to be looping the textures per area rather than the area per texture. Let a person to join. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I don't know. I suppose this is good enough. It seems to work fine. This would work for intended purposes currently. Just run it a few more times. I'm gonna make it so I can just hold the button. Yeah. Fine. Fine. I pressed this 100 times, 102 times really. It's a lot of times I'm pressing this button right now. Yep, I don't see any errors here. It's all within where it's supposed to be. It's all good. I could lower the margin a bit or something, but I don't really care. The textures I'm using right now aren't really that big. So what exactly would happen if I did have a problem with the texture? I gotta code all of that. I guess if the texture isn't uploaded, then I can default the texture to something else. So if the... How do I check that? I need to know if the index doesn't exist. Oh yeah, the other thing is, well, how many things could I actually have? That's going to depend on...
Hi, what are you doing?
Dynamic Texture Atlas is the idea of this thing. So each one of these would represent a different texture which is being put into a 4K image and sent to the graphics card. So the idea is basically I have all these separate textures and I'll have a separate thingy on the graphics card which says I want this texture on that atlas at this location. So this is computing it all CPU side to figure out where it's all going to go. The texture will then be sent to the graphics card, put within the atlas, and then anything that requires that texture knows to look in that atlas from here to here. And that's that texture. Because otherwise they can only upload 8 textures, and minus the few that I'm already using. So it's like 4 textures. I would only be able to have 4 textures throughout the entire game. Which means I'd have to create my own atlases, and I'd have to do like fancy dynamic things to figure out like, if you're looking at this angle at that location, you will only ever be looking at these 4 atlases at any time. Things like that. So, dynamically generate it. If a face is using a texture, put it on the atlas. So yeah, that's that. I can get it to position on the atlas now.
Dear Kingston. Oh, okay. Never heard before, but seems quite interesting.
Yeah. Solutions to problems. So what am I doing? So we got it. Well, actually, we got the location and we got the size. So we got all the information we need. Okay. So what the world do I do next? I guess I need to strip this out into a function. How am I storing all of this information currently? Okay, so I just put up an array of all the textures we want with the relevant information of location and size, and I guess whatever the image is supposed to be. And we don't care about this area junk. Well, this means it's going to be recalculating per frame. Okay, what if I don't sort? What does it then look like? Should be a whole lot more chaotic. Because I don't want to have to upload every individual image to be put back into the atlas every time just one image is added. Just want to add it to the end. Unless there's no room. So this is just a random unsorted version of it. That still works pretty well. Oh. And we're gonna... There we go, there's the arrow. So it couldn't fit that next one into the atlas. So that's a heck of a lot less optimized. But whatever. So when that error gets hit, then we sort and recompile. So I guess I want to do that. I guess I should. I mean, but I don't actually have that many textures that I want to be using. How far do I want to go with this, knowing that this is the most unoptimized version of this, but it works? I have a much more optimized version I could create. I hate that. Why does this song do that? You make me want to delete you, but the rest of it's fine. Just that one bit, 11 minutes into the song. I don't think it does it again. If you do that again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Skip it. Okay, so what do I want to do? I just don't think I'm gonna care about it. Okay, well with that not being cared about, then yeah, because if that's not cared, then this should come up with the same sequence of stuff every single time. So I know if I get a new texture, it's just going to plonk it down. I don't have to remap everything. Well, then again, I mean, I guess it's pretty simple. All I would do is, in the case of this error, I want it to go back to the start, so the whole thing would just be in a function and just rerun the function again. And this time, sort this, which currently is an object form, so I can't sort it. It would have to be an array. I guess it's easy enough to do. Whatever. So what exactly am I doing? What am I doing next? I got the code. What do I do with it? I'm not going to care about rotations. Fine. I'll do it in the object form, add that thing, strip the whole thing out, put it as a function. Oh, well, I gotta make it a function to do that. I guess the whole thing should work as a function. Okay, whatever. So grab all of you. You are now a function. Damn it. Function. Why is that lagging? Don't know. Because it's the top of the file. Atlas Packer. And I guess we'd want to input an instance of the textures. And do we need anything else? Because it just gets a whole lot of locations. We're not going to worry about multi-atlas maps currently, but I imagine I'll need some sort of other input for what that would be, like the atlas maps themselves. So that'd be the current packed things, because it wouldn't be generating exactly the same. Oh, I guess it would do. Oh, never mind. So that would shuffle them. Yeah, I guess that would be a more optimized way. Whatever, so all I would need is the textures, and this does what it does. Oh, I guess I would have another number for how many atlases. What do I want to call that? It's the amount of atlases we can pack into. How do I sum that up into a word? Maps. The amount of maps. which if I had multiple maps, then when one hit the error, I would want to start putting them into the second map. Then when I go through all of the maps and then there's still an error, then I would want to shuffle and redo again. Which is a heck of a lot. This is a very bad way of doing it. So much overhead of code. I guess the other way I'd do it would just be storing this thing as a variable. I could just continue on. So texture would just be the new texture. Would I also want to put the condition... I mean, I feel like I should. Okay. So textures would also say if they are currently within the map, I would loop through them, and I don't care if they're already packed until I get to one that isn't packed yet. Then I would add that one there, but if that one comes up with an error, then I go to the next map, the next map, the next map, until there aren't any more maps. Then I would shuffle the whole lot, clear everything so nothing is packed anymore, and then go through the whole thing again. So, yeah, whatever. That would be the slowest thing. Which right now is going to be happening every frame, but whatever. That's ahead. Where am I doing? What am I doing right now? So with this as a function, we have the textures. The textures are going to be for that. Which I believe is only used there. Yep. And maps we don't really care about right now. But I feel like there's going to be another loop for the maps. How would that work? That means the areas would have to be separated by maps. As well as that information. Whatever. How do I post to join? Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So... what was I doing again? Textures are textures, this is this. Everything, I think, is fine? I feel like that's fine for some reason. Dump you in here, and what were you again? That be this. And I could just say obj to array. So just get that object, loop through all of its things, dump it into an array, so it's an array of all the contents of the things within the objects. I don't think that should be a problem. Nothing was using the IDs, and also the names are within the textures, which, whatever. That's just nothing at the moment. And what does this return? So that should just be altering the location of all of this junk, which should be fine. The only thing is areas isn't there. So let's just have it return areas. Return areas. Areas equals. And that should work all the same. What am I doing? Refresh. Great. Okay. I should probably have a condition to get rid of these areas if they're too small. Just because I can. So if we want to create an area, which that one should be fine. I mean, if that one has a problem, then we got a problem. But that means it'll only be with the resize. I guess, maybe not. We do have ifs for everything, so I could literally just delete a side. Why not? So if area right dot size 0 is less than size limit is less than the size limit plus margin times 2, or that, then delete. Do I want to delete it or just set it as undefined? Let's just delete. Didn't exist in the first place, so whatever. So let's go for something bigger, like I mean, I know the minimum size of textures right now is 10, so let's go 15. Make it a bit bigger. So areas, well actually 10 should be fine, shouldn't it? Let's just go with 5. So yeah, these areas won't exist anymore. Oh. Okay. I feel like that one should have been removed. Did I do something wrong, or are they actually still within limits? Huh. That'll work. Probably. Oh, it's because I'm just doing it for the new areas. I also need to do it there. I'm deleting these ones, but I'm just setting that as undefined. Let's delete. I don't know why, I feel like deleting is better. That should do it. There we are. Okay, interesting. 183? Oh yeah, because it doesn't exist. That one does, but this one not. Don't know why I feel like I need to do brackets. Kitty cat. Okay. Huh. Apparently 20 was a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller than I expected. I mean, I guess that's right on the limit, that one. Alright, whatever. That seems fine. Let's say 5. Just have it whatever the margin happens to be. The margin is also twice as big as it's supposed to be, because we have 5 from this one and 5 from that one. But I'm not going to worry about that. I could back that in a bit tighter if I just I just didn't add the margin to the location when setting the location. Just don't do that. Do I want to do that? I feel like I do. Why not? Yeah. sure. There you go. That seems to be correct. So now we've got equal margin around all sides. Don't have the double. Okay. Really surprised I didn't just miss one, but if I did, how would I even know? Seemed too distorted. Well, whatever. It be what it be, because that's what I made it. So now I got to do the thingy. If it continued on and didn't break here, we want to run the whole thing again, but with these things. So mode. Yeah, so if we didn't do that, we want to run the whole Atlas Packin thing again, if it's not already with the mode. Not mode. Else. Atlas outer space. So we want to run the whole thing again. That is that. This is this. That is whatever that happened to be. And we want to return whatever that returns, which will be what this returns. And with mode being 1, then we want to do this. So if we have a mode, then we want to sort texture and textures. So we want to grab all of those, push them into an array by size. Yeah, we'll do in that size because why not? Then we want to sort it. And sort is sort. And then we want to dump that back out into textures, which is a little bit annoying. This could cause problems. Okay, this is going to have some other variable that comes with it. Because we need to know where these textures are within the atlas. This will just shuffle them all up and we won't know where they are according to the array of where they are. Unless I also added that. So I could just add an index. What's the best way of doing that? So the idea is I have the atlas, which atlas variable, which just contains an array of all of the textures, the locations they're at, and the sizes or whatever, and the orientation if that's going to be a thing later on. And the indexes within the array is going to be their indexes. So I can send all that to the graphics card and it can just say I want index, texture index, whatever, and it knows everything about whatever that texture is. But we need to know what index it's relating to. So if we want the sky texture, we need to look at the index that the sky texture is on. But if I shuffle it, we're not going to know that anymore. So I need a secondary array which contains all the indexes. So I could just store it directly within the image itself. I don't really see much of a problem with that. So this would technically be something along the lines of, once this is done, we want to loop through it again. And say that equals 0, index is less than sort length, index plus plus, Sort index 1 dot atlas index equals index. And that would do it. This actually shouldn't cause any problems right now. I would also need an extra information about which atlas it's in, but that would be within this, and I would all understand that perfectly fine, I guess. Or would it? No. I mean, technically, depends. Because I could only have so many variables. I need to define exactly how many textures I can send to the graphics card. So I could just have one massive long array, or I could split it up between each atlas. That way, if that atlas isn't even required, then it doesn't even need to exist on the graphics card. But it's not like I could use that space for anything else anyway, so... You know, you never know, maybe it suddenly is required, then whatever you put in that slot suddenly doesn't exist anymore and the whole thing breaks down. So whatever, let's just do it the whole one single thing. So yeah, atlas index, and then within this information you would have what atlas index, atlas map you're on. No, the other information, that information. So whatever. No, I would need to do this. So if I'm going to store it directly within the image itself. Okay. But for now that's not required. Because this is just a pseudo test. Okay. So if the mode is a thing, then we're going to loop through all of the textures, we're going to push them into an array and sort them by their height. Then, once they're sorted, we need to loop through them all and assign where their new indexes are within the texture array. Okay. And then... Oh, also I want to do this, so textures index is equal to that. That way I keep instances of the variables. Okay. Wait, why is that looping through sort? Right, whatever. And this is that. Okay, so that would want to rebuild it from scratch. I think that should be fine. Let's see what happens. So I'm pretty much guaranteed to have the error happen, which will now... Oh yeah, we also need this to happen if the error happens. Plonk. So if we can't add it in an undefined area, because the undefined area is too small, or the undefined area was... Or it didn't even have an undefined area, and there was no left or right. Left and down, right and down. Immediately breaks. Size of undefined 165. Huh? Why would that one be broken? Unless that's the one that's broken. Ah. That's not right. My areas are being defined wrong. Damn it, it's that margin thing. Size is now ×2. Middle. It already was ×2. Was it ×3 now? If that's what you want to be. Wait, why am I doing it with that? Sure, whatever. That's confusing. Wait, what? Why am I doing it with both sides? The right one should... Wait, why is it wrong? So I don't have an extra one being added to that. So I need an extra one added to this. And I don't need an extra one to that. Okay. If that's what it wants to do. So that means that thing's this is now just a 1, supposedly. And this is now a 3? Okay. Nope. I mean, that one's not changing, but the other side is. Why is that wrong? Oh yeah, only for the first one it would have worked. Refresh. Alright, posted. Join. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So that first one's just completely wrong. Although it could also be because of this thing, although it shouldn't be. Let's just get rid of it so we know that's not a problem. Coming down. Just probably straight up remove it. Don't want the offset and locations to make it easier to see where the areas are. Yeah, it's too low by 1. And too far to the side by, well, that one I haven't changed. So it's far enough down, but it's too wide by, not wide enough by, so, whatever, you're a 4 now. Does that fix it? That doesn't seem right in the slightest, but okay. 1 sure, 2 sure, but 4? Oh. I mean, it's minusing. So that is also just a 1? There we are. Well, okay, sure. So apparently we just don't do that anymore. I didn't think I ever did that originally. So it was always confusing me. Somebody joins and somebody leaves. Get it again. Feel free to ask questions if anybody wants to know what's going on. That one stays the same. Which is changing this.
Sigmish, that's how it goes, lol.
Yeah. Well, viewers are viewers. And apparently I got 3 right now, so if I could just maintain that for the next month, then I can finally gain the, whatever that thing is. Affiliate, or whatever it was. Oh, syntax error. What? Which one? Is it still uploading? 171. Oh, you got an error. No. Outlook. Feel like there should be another area here then, but okay. Refresh. Okay. So that's not right. Or is it? I mean, that one doesn't have the over. I think that's wrong. It does need the over on that side. Or does it? What have I done? I should have just left it. I knew I was gonna have to undo, but it seemed to work, so I continued on. So I do want that further to the side, and I feel like I want that down. So which ones do I do for that? The locations are fine. No. That location is not. The locations are not. So this location in the X plus a margin. Should move that across, then we need it to be further down, so the Y is back to being ×2.
Sigmish, so a ray trace game engine, any idea what you're going to use it for?
Making a game generally. Other than that, it's just something to do. I'm just making the dynamic texture Atlas packer, so it can have textures. Oh, okay. If
I knew that without asking, lol.
Okay, cool. What, the game part or what I just said there? That doesn't need to be there.
Game part.
Yeah, the idea of the game that I'm trying to create is, oh, that's the wrong way. ×2. So I've just put the ×2 back now. So this is the old version of the game, which isn't as well optimized. It doesn't even have the new loading screen on it. So the idea of the game is you're, I don't even have the skybox, do I? God, everything's missing on this one. But it runs a whole lot better. You're a spaceship pilot, then you're carrying cargo between locations. It's a casual sort of slice of lifey sort of game, I guess. This is the bridge. You'll have communications over here, flight controls over there, general ship information over here. That was a... okay, never mind. And generally, you wake up every day, so you gotta sleep and eat and hygiene and psyche sort of stuff. You don't want to go insane and all that sort of stuff, so you gotta balance all of those levels, which there won't be any UI. You gotta sort of figure out by negative effects those things happen when they go bad, whether or not you require them. Other than that, I'll have like screens around the place with like general crew information sort of things. It's like you got an AI. You can imagine like there's an AI just telling you like, oh, you look dehydrated. I don't know, something like that. There'll also be like a clock, which will be segmented out into times you're supposed to be doing stuff. So, like from whenever to whenever is your eating time. If you go over that, then you're probably going to be getting pretty hungry. So you probably want to eat sooner rather than later if you've gone outside of that time. Anyway, anyway, you wake up, you'd go over, you check your general ship information, and you just basically do maintenance on the ship. So, is there anything wrong? Like, clearly, obviously wrong. Other than that, there'll be a whole lot of just time-wasting things you can do. Every time you interact with something, time will skip forward a bit, other than generally moving forwards with time. And yeah, so, like over here, we've got a server room, so this is where the server would be. And, you know, maybe there's something wrong with, like, other than the general information, I'm not sure what the general things you could just always maintenance stuff with is, or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe just dust it or clean it or something. Anyway, So yeah, you'll be able to interact with parts of it. You could like pull out a server rack and examine the components or something like that to see if there's anything wrong with them, put it back in again, and you know, they do sort of stuff like that. But generally, you might have something obviously wrong with the ship. So you're using more fuel, say. And at the rate you're currently consuming fuel, you're not going to make it to your destination, which you knew when you left that you should have been able to make it, so something's going wrong with your fuel consumption. So you go down to where your fuel's being stored or something like that. Maybe one of your tanks has a hole in it. This is the tank room. This is all placeholder stuff. I suck at modeling and things. So yeah, maybe there's just a hole or something obvious like that. You would check it out. Doesn't seem to be. They would have like pipes going everywhere throughout your ship. I would like conduit sort of pipey things going all over the ceilings to anything that's using fuel, such as the power generator. And that's the storeroom. Power generator? Down here? That one. Nope. That one. There we go. So there'll be a pipe coming into this room, and it'll have a gauge on it showing you like your flow. You'll also have the console, which you can see general information about it, like you know, which rooms are using the power and all that sort of stuff. But the console might have problems, and you know, you might have to manually check things. I want manual ways of seeing everything as well as the conduits that go around the place. You might be able to see gauges on them. So yeah, you might come in here and your generators need to be oiled. I don't know, maybe there's a spinning part on them and you need to oil it. So it's creating a whole lot of friction. It'll probably be glowing red or something like that. And because of that extra friction, it's requiring more fuel and like it's less efficient. So it's using up more fuel. So you just oil the parts, there you go. Or it could be something more complicated. So, you know, it seems like everything's going good, but you're requiring more power, which is making them generate more power, which is using more fuel. And you might track it down to, say, which room is it? I think it's just this one. Life support room. So your life support room might have some sort of a problem. I don't know, say the water filtration thing is leaking. Like your water tank is leaking, or oxygen tank, I don't know, some sort of a tank is leaking. Maybe your waste gas tank is leaking, I don't know. And that means your oxygen scrubbers are going in overdrive to clean the atmosphere. And that's requiring more power, more fuel, and that's why you're not going to make it to your destination because you'll run out of fuel. So, you know, you got to fix the leak in the tank or something like that. Or maybe there's a hull breach and it's needing to restore oxygen, which is taking more fuel. I don't know. Something like that. So that's the general idea of the game. You have to track down these problems when they arise, if they even happen. General maintenance thing will generally avoid most of those problems, other than, you know...
Sigma.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wicked plan makes me want to play it now.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe it's got a hole in it because old stuff and it just happens to get a hole in it, or maybe there was a micro-asteroid thing, so there's a hole not only in your water supply tank or oxygen tank or something like that, but also in the hull of the ship. So you would see like a hole over here, a hole in the tank, a hole in the floor, well, let's say it's down here, a hole in the tank, and a hole up here. So you know that there's also going to be a hole through that wall, and, you know, whatever room's on the other side of that, whatever room's on the other side of that. So you got to plug all the holes, and maybe do an EVA thing, plug it from the outside. The problem is just optimizations and things, because the game engine can only handle about 1,000 polygons per frame, so within the screen, which the whole lot of moving pixelated stuff around the outside, that's the information being sent to the graphics card, so that's showing you basically how much stuff is being sent. I think I have a gauge here, yeah. So there's 422 faces which are being sent to the graphics card. And if I have it clipped, so there's 422 faces, but only 354 of them are being rendered. Because, yeah. Anyway. But right now, the entire thing's running from a 4K texture, which is the entire ship. All of the rooms, everything. And, yeah, it's a bit of a mess, so... I'm cutting everything up, so, you know, all of the textures that are in this room only exist while this room exists. So if I open up that door,
oh my,
room goes away, and it doesn't exist anymore. And neither with those textures or any of the resources required to render it. So There you go. Yeah, that's the idea. So I should be able to do a few other cool things. PlayStation 1 was my goal in quality, which I think I've pretty much reached. 1,000 faces per frame is PlayStation 1 quality, as far as I understand. But not only that, I could do the per pixel stuff, which is basically ray trace rendering. So I could do cool things like real-time reflections, which currently doesn't work in this version of it. And I could do other stuff. I could do parallax maps. I should be able to do parallax maps. And, you know, normal maps and things, lighting. Lighting's a lot more complicated, though. I did some experiments to get real-time lighting.
Now I just have to wait to play it, but
yeah,
it reminds me of MG1 lol.
Okay. It's the low res. Yeah, it's currently running at like 300 by 300 pixels. So, yeah, super low res. I've upped it now to 600 by 600, and it seems to generally be working okay, but I do have a lower test at the moment. There's a whole heck of a lot of optimizations that I don't have on the newer version, which I have on this one. Like, the screen is cut up into segments, so it knows generally what faces are in that segment, so it doesn't need to check every single face to see if it's overlapping with a pixel to see if what that pixel color should be. It will just, you know, in this general area, what in there is over this pixel, stuff like that, and optimizes things a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, I don't have those optimizations, so I can't do the full test with the new code, the new version. Now I've sort of got distracted from that, so now I'm doing the texture stuff. I'll go back to that stuff later because it's really complicated.
Sigmish, I'm a performance kind of guy. I'll play with the lowest setting just to have 200 FPS.
Well, there is only the lowest setting, and you'll have 24 FPS. So there you go. But it should technically work on mobile phones and stuff as long as you got a modern one, you know, made within the last 5 years or so. Like a decent one that was made within the last 5 years. Yeah.
Sigmish, I'll make it work.
And I have locked frame rates and stuff at the moment. It's all entirely my own code, line by line. So you won't be able to use another program to get around the problems. But if you do know of a way to get around them, let me know. Because there's lots of little minor things, like to make a frame happen, you got to use, like, I'm currently using a set timeout, so it'll wait a certain amount of time and then render the next frame. But the amount of time it waits starts after all of your codes run. It doesn't take that into account. So I got my own thing to take that into account. But if your frame, the next frame needs to start immediately, it won't start immediately. You'll have a certain amount of delay between this frame and the next frame, no matter what. And I can't control that, and that depends on your browser, depends on your device, depends on your operating system. So it could be anywhere between like 3 milliseconds to 30 milliseconds, which is very annoying, because I have nothing I can do about that. The other way is the request animation frame or whatever, but that thing's even worse. From what I see, it seems to be a locked 60 FPS, which means it will always delay that amount of time, like the 60 60 to 1000 divided by 60 milliseconds. Whatever that happens to be, which is a whole lot more than 1 millisecond. It's very annoying. So you can't hack the performance to be better. Unless you could hack those things, which I've got a hard lock on those things anyway, so. Anyway.
Sigmish, the only thing I know about Java rendering is a buffer, and I know you know that, lol.
This is JavaScript, not Java, which is completely different, if you happen to not know that. And I don't know what you mean by the buffer. So, yep. So I literally just have a loop. Which is my... it got a little bit more complicated now, didn't it? Yeah. So basically I'm just running it with a set timeout or a request animation. And this thing's basically saying... so I could have... Well, this is my versions of buffered things. I'm not sure what you meant.
Sigmish. Okay, yep, I know nothing.
Yeah, so I could have a subframe that I want to render. So before it starts delaying for the next frame, I want to run code at the end of this frame, but before the start of the next one. So that's what that's doing. So once that's all done, I can get what the performance is. That should tell me how long my code took to run in total. not including the extra delay this will have, because this will have at least one delay of the set timeout before that happens, and then that could happen multiple times stacking up, so you know, a little bit out of sync, but whatever. Supposedly I can get the graphics card time, how long the graphics card's taken by doing this thing, but it made my performance a heck of a lot better, but it also lies to me. It's not correct in the slightest, but for some reason the performance is better. I don't know. Yeah, and then, you know, if enough time has passed since the last time this thing was checked, or since the frame started, then we continue on. Else, we just loop this thing until enough time has passed. And then, yeah, a whole lot of resetting graphics card stuff, and there we go. Start the next frame. That's basically what that's doing. And that goes through a whole mess of a whole lot of stuff, multi-core buffer things, so getting multi-threaded support, which is completely disabled at the moment, and rendering and 3D and everything else that's going on. There's that one function, render check. That's what sets the whole thing off. But I can rant about that for literally hours. It's very, very complicated when you build the whole thing from scratch. So what was I doing? Supposedly that might be good now. What time is it? I want to go get food in about 10 minutes. So hopefully I'll just get this alignment-y thingy going and the sorting going.
I bet, and it would all go over my head.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends if I explain it in order or keep skipping through things backwards and forwards. There we go, that seems to be good. We've got a bit to the side and a bit down. So now I just gotta apply that to everything else. Yeah, because I literally have to do everything. Like, you want to click on something? That doesn't work at all. But I can like click and drag these things around, and it's just immediately snapping it back because it's updating at every frame. But to know if I clicked in this box is a heck of a complicated thing. Like, it can be simple. It's just like, what's the mouse location? What's the box location? Is the mouse location within that box location plus size? Is it within that area? But what if you had 1,000 boxes? What if you had 1,000,000 boxes? What if you had 1,000,000 boxes but you can only see one on the screen? What if the screen can be moved around? What if you could zoom in and out? What if you had multiple viewports into your scene? You know? Because I could literally do a split screen thing. I could have a window over here and a window over here, both of them within the same scene. Both of them can be moved, zoomed, everything independently. How then do you tell if the mouse is within a box? Without checking every single box in existence times 2 for both of the viewports. You know, I mean, you can halve that by just checking if it's in the viewport first, but yeah. I gotta make all of that stuff. And then rendering it all, which is somewhat the same in a way. I use the same system for rendering it, so it only renders what's in the scene. Anyway, I ran about that for literally hours. What am I doing? Over here now. So times 2's to the sides and the nothings to the location. Simple. That one's already got a times 2. So I didn't even change it yet. Times 2, times 2, times 2. Nothing. Size times 2. Location is nothing. No, that one would be this one. The other one's plus in the next location, so that one should be fine. And that's the times 2. And that should fix it. Damn it, tapping. Go away. This one, that one. Refresh. Okay, boop. Okay, that one's wrong and that one's wrong. Because reasons. I don't have it on here though. Okay, whatever. So the down one, I Don't understand. The right one is not offsetting this. Oh wait, it is. There it is. So the down one needs to plus that. And the new area needs to plus that for both. Okay. And that one's also wrong for the same reason. Wait, we are plussing that onto the location. Okay, apparently that's the times 2 now. And boop. Yep. Yep. Wait, how did that happen? When we dump these through, we do not want to do that. Oh, that's a little bit more complicated than that. Okay, so if we don't do these, then we also want to plus to the other one. Ah, that would be a one-off, never mind. Don't get cat pulling on my headphone cable. We'd want to do that to this one. Plus that there, plus that there, and the other one's already got plus both of them, so that one would have worked perfectly fine. And then we don't do that. Which technically would mean we also do not do these if we are doing that, so we would want to get rid of these and define the original one to have a location of the margin. Right? All of this just to get even spacing so it doesn't double up when they're two things next to each other compared to the border. Ah. Okay. No. Do I still have one somewhere? Do I need to minus now? What? Oh, okay. Because that one was already correct, but that means I need to remove it again from... Yeah, it only happens once. So the right one, remove it from that one. Down, remove it from that. I'm assuming that one should be fine. Why is the box still there? Why have I doubled up? Oh, it's sorted. Okay, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Because it didn't go to the next area. Oh, damn it. Oh, whatever. We're suddenly doubling up. Why did that suddenly happen? Because this one's location is back to just being a 1. Did it also go lower? Yeah. Get there at the end. One at a time. And then it's gonna sort, yeah. Huh. Okay. I mean, technically, all the boxes are slightly to the side, but it is technically where everything's supposed to be. I could adjust that, but it would be working exactly the same out of space. Okay. So the next problem is this when. We don't want this to go unless we are out of these and it didn't place it down. So how do we tell that? So we want it to run out of areas, and the last area did have... Wait. We don't have a condition for this one. Okay, so this one should always go. Never mind. So now it should look pretty good when it actually goes to the end of the list. Okay. So when I run out of spaces, which I should run out of spaces. Okay. The whole thing should just reshuffle itself. Perfect. You can see the amount of extra space that we just gained. And then everything else should fit within this area. Perfectly. Well, that was actually one of the worst packs I've seen so far, but anyway, good enough. Great. So the next thing I'd want to do is stagger this. So instead of checking the position of every single one of them, which ideally is exactly the same every single time, we just want to place down the next one. Oh, it actually placed all 100. Huh. Never got to sort it. Which means I've got to store where the variable of the areas is. I've got to store that somewhere, which is good enough. I know a place I can put that. And... well, then we just go to the next one. So... wait, how do we do that? I don't know. I'm done for now. I need to go get food. That's an interesting way of packing it. What happened there? Okay, interesting. So it finally failed. What if I try sorting by the height? Does that make things more efficient? I feel like width should be more efficient because I'm checking the top first, the right first, then the bottom. Random mess. It's actually working pretty well. Smell people cooking now. There we go. Sort. Actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe I do want to buy width. No, this has a chance of causing a problem. No, it doesn't. Yeah, that seems to take, well, I suppose we had areas here which were empty, and now they're up there, which is a much bigger area, but we've still got a lot more left over. What is this one doing? Oh, it's out of space, never mind. That's the one I think it's trying to put there, and it's not gonna fit. Yeah, this one doesn't fit anywhere. Oh, the margin problems. I guess technically that one should fit there. I wonder why it doesn't go there. I don't know. Let's just switch it back. So I can create a thing to tell how efficiently it's packing over a certain amount of loops of random numbers to see what the area is. How much area gets covered before it fails. And... nope. That seems a lot worse, doesn't it? Wait a second, why did nothing go into here? Every other one's being skipped. What's happening? What's that all about? Ah. What? What? No. It might be because it was continuing. So it was only half sorted. No. What's happening? Okay. Because this one most definitely should have fit in here. Can't drag it. So it would have done that. And then these are all wrong. Hang on, I'm sorting by height, so sure. So apparently this one didn't fit into here, so it went over there. Why? What's happening here? Do I have a non-vard variable which is leaking over? I mean, we're breaking, which is breaking out of the area loop if it finds a place. We're checking an unclaimed area, and then we're doing the right, and then we're doing a left. Oh, it's an else. Huh. So it tried to fit it in the right one. Yeah, so that would have actually been down here a lot earlier on, I think. Oh, it's a smaller one. I don't know. Probably I fixed it. There you are, you kitty cat. Alright, this last test, now I'm gonna go. Okay. That seems to be back up and running. How have I just now noticed that problem? Wait. Like, that one and that one could have easily fit in here. That could have easily fit in there. Why is nothing going into there? Damn it! What am I missing here? What's going on? I mean, if it hits that, it's going to be returning. So, only that one should do the break. It's putting it down, and there we go. We don't need to loop through any more areas. Because it placed it. If it had a right one, or else. Oh, okay. I guess maybe the unclaimed staying behind? I should be deleting the unclaimed. Whatever. Away. And yeah, I don't know, maybe that does something. I very much doubt that's going to change anything, because if it did have an unclaimed, it would have gone in the unclaimed. And if it did have a right, it could have possibly gone in the right, but then I had to check that one anyway. Oh, it might not have had a right. Ah, okay. So it filled out that area completely, so there wasn't an area left over for it, and because there wasn't a leftover area, then this was just false, so it never tried to do the left or the down, because, yeah, okay. That's all. That'll fix it. Good thing I didn't decide to do the more complicated version. The well more efficient version of this. I had all sorts of problems. Yeah, I really should fix the areas so it actually puts the boxes where the boxes should go. Okay, so now it's filling it all nicely. And shuffled. Great, well more efficient. Massive amount of space left over now. One more time, and then I'm gonna go. Really should make it so I can hold down the button. Is it gonna shuffle? There we go. I have one left. One single one. Okay. So that seems to be good. Okay. So... with that then being all good, the next step is to stagger it so it doesn't have to loop through absolutely everything, but I could also just not care about that right now, but the staggering is going to be a thing regardless, so... yeah, whatever. So storing the variables in a proper place, which actually could just be done the same way with this test version. And then once that's done, I need to build the fragment shader for putting the textures onto the atlas. I'm going to be renaming that damn data image again, because image 0 is image 0. It doesn't have a bias unless it's just doing the 3D things, but it could be doing other things. Or I could create... oh, I really should do that, shouldn't I? I'll have to look into creating the fragment program, a brand new one, so I can have multiple of them. And that way that could be a dedicated thing, because it doesn't require nearly any of the code the 3D one's using. It's just going to be a simple, here's a position, put a thing there. Scale relative ratios of pixels, job done. Nothing complicated at all. Alright. So, yeah, I shall be back in probably like 2 to 5 hours. Who knows? Hopefully I am actually back. I get distracted playing games because I really want to play games right now. Just don't have any games to play.
Sigmish, alrighty, have a good one.
Thanks for dropping by.